Hello everyone. In this module we'll see that how UCs are spending excessive amounts on salaries and other administrative costs, and we found some articles online which say that the number of administrators was going up, percentage wise far higher than the number of actually instructors. So let's start. This was one article published in LA Times on April 25th, 2017, which talks about um, how much money they had in reserve fund, and the UC regents, and they're trying to raise tuition further. Okay, next. Um, this is approximately UC's budget, $29 billion in 2016. And then on the tuition fees also, sometimes they don't do fee hikes for all majors across the board. They have non-resident supplemental tuitions, or they also impose tuitions on certain professional degrees. So they call them professional fees, and we'll look into that as well. Um, Something I found on the UC website about their budget analysis and planning, where it talks about, how much. I mean, it's actually a very comprehensive report which you can download or just read it off from the website. And it goes into detail how the money is being allocated, what are the future liabilities and costs. Okay, so this was, again from the same place. I downloaded the budget plan proposals, and it talks about how the financial aid will go up. Um, lot of the California undergrads basically, um, they won't see any tuition hike because UC has that blue and gold, those programs, financial aid programs, and then they're also planning to give additional money away which could be used for rent, food, and other expenses. um, this one talks about that UCs are trying hard now to recruit more California undergrads, but again, that word California undergrad, like we talked about in earlier slides, it's highly, uh, it's very, you can say, ill-defined, and California residents does not mean US permanent residents or US citizens. So that's always, you need to keep that in mind. Um, And then these are the major liabilities of UCs, their retirement plan, employee and retiree health benefits, um, how they need to raise either raise fees or rely on state for additional to support additional enrollment growth. This slide again, talks about that for 2/3 of California residents, how the aid will rise, and you can see the links on the top where I'm taking this information from. This is in the beginning I talked about that they have professional degree supplemental tuition like nursing, I think law degree, or some many other degrees actually. They had these additional fees. So when we talk about UC undergrad, that doesn't mean it's for all the majors. Certain majors, they have additional fees imposed, which you should check on the website. Another LA Times article talks about is UC spending too much money on on administrative costs and very little on teaching. This was published on November 11th, 2017. On the top, you can see here, Saturday, where my cursor is. Same article talks about the number of administrators of 10,539 in 2000, that 15 period versus the faculty members, how the growth was stagnant versus the number of administrators were going up. Okay, then it talks about that the enrollment has grown from 126,000 in 1980 to 246,000 in 2017, more than double, and um, how the overall spending grew, uh, and where was UC spending building these healthcare infrastructures. Okay, and the expenditures for the basic education rose 27% during the same period from 5.4 billion to 6.9 billion. So this is the period from 2007-8 to 2014-15, where this article talks about how the UC spending on administrative versus the core education went up. Then there was a study done by Bain and Company consultants. It said that 11 layers of management between chancellor and frontline employees, that which suggests that UCs had too many bosses. And more than half of the all managers had three or fewer direct reportees, and then 471 managers were only in charge of one person. You can read more about online. And then some of the, somebody at UC they're defending it that sometimes they do um, basically instead of outsourcing the work, they bring the work in-house, and that leads to the growth of now, additional administrative costs. So this is, I'll move very quickly, but you can read more online just to show you where this is. Then there is another, which is actually has been the news a lot, that students on the university or college campuses all over the nation, because now there were too many, students which got admitted were on financial aids. Now they sometimes don't even have enough money for food. um, these articles they talk about how students are actually saving money sometime, for going for drinks with their friends, or sometimes the opportunities are not available to buy healthy food nearby. Students may not be able to afford car insurance, they may not have cars, they may not have proper public transportation system, the grocery stores may not be nearby. So how, this basically this all students are getting scammed into buying very expensive food, little servings, small servings on the campus, and they are not able to save enough money to buy even healthy food. And there are many articles actually if you search that on Google related to this issue. There was one article in Washington Post. It talks about how students all over the country, they're, a big percentage, it's starving, and then university administrators are already, they're taking account of this. 36% of the students at 66 surveyed colleges and universities don't get enough to eat, and a similar number lack a secure place to live. Going along the same lines, you can search California colleges full of hungry students. Starving student stereotype is not a joke. Hunger on college campuses. Um, I found so many articles. Look, the number of starving college students is shockingly high. So that's another issue. I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. I think we'll just stop here. This is, going back to all these issues. So now let's move on to the next module.